Hi everyone. I happy Sunday. Later today my hubby and I get to go to see a movie, which is hi Sarah. We get to go see a movie today, which is a really big deal when you have a toddler. So my sister-in-law is coming over later today to watch her so that we can go see the new Mission Impossible movie. And yesterday I was teaching a childbirth class and we were just chatting about membrane sweeps. And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. And as we were talking about the membrane sweeps, I mentioned I did them twice with her. And the first time that I did it, I thought it was very painful. And sometimes with the membrane sweeps, like I said, they either work or they don't. And so you either contract a ton and then don't go into labor, or you contract a ton and then go into labor. And so when we did the first membrane sweep 2 years ago, right? I met my husband after the doctor's appointment with my midwife, and we saw the last Mission Impossible movie in the movie theater, and it was, like a 3-hour movie, and I contracted every 5 minutes for that 3-hour movie, and I was incredibly uncomfortable, and yeah, it was awful. And so yesterday I was sharing that with the class, on that was a poor life choice. Maybe don't go be stuck in a movie theater after having your membrane swept. At the time we thought it would be like a funny, good distraction. But even the comfy chairs were just not comfortable when you're contracting every 5 minutes. And so I said, oh, how funny. We're going to go see the next Mission Impossible movie today. And one of the dads was like, well, do you have PTSD? How do you feel about that? And I was like, yeah, I guess I'm not excited for another 3-hour movie, but at least I'm not going to be contracting the entire time this time. So so we're gonna do that later today, which will be fun. But I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about some more hormones in labor and what adrenaline is. And maybe it's because I'm feeling adrenaline about going and seeing this movie. No, I'm just kidding. But adrenaline in labor. So we've already, a few days ago chatted about oxytocin, which is our love hormone. And so if you missed that, I would recommend to go watch it because it's really interesting how oxytocin works in our body. So next, adrenaline. I feel like that's one of the other really important hormones. That's our fight or flight hormone. That is the hormone that we really want to keep in check when we're in labor. So it's our built-in survival system. God designed it to kick in when we're in danger. Okay, so we can either fight or flee. What that's so important about labor is that when our adrenaline surges in labor, that can actually stall our progress. So this is my favorite way to explain it. If you are, for whatever reason, giving birth out in the woods, it's not my thing, but it could be your thing. So if that's you, stick with me here. If you are in labor and you're literally about to push your baby out and you're in the middle of the woods, everything's quiet, your body's doing its thing, you're a rock star, and then a bear comes up to you. So what's going to happen to your hormones? Hi, Jill. So glad you're here. So what's going to happen to your hormones, right? If you are about to push your baby out and then a bear comes up, your adrenaline is going to spike so high to protect you. Okay, so your adrenaline's going to spike so that you can flee. It will literally, God is so crazy. It will literally stop your labor so that you can get yourself and your baby to safety. So, why is that important for us not giving birth in the woods? So it's important because our bodies don't want to birth a baby in danger, right? And so our labor is not going to progress if we feel like we're in danger. Our uterus will slow down and just stop contracting. It's so common. I'm sure my expert doula, I love you, girl. You probably have seen this. Laboring with moms at home, when you're in full-blown labor at home and you're just rocking it and your contractions are super consistent and you feel loved and you feel safe and you're comfortable, and then you get to the hospital and your contractions go away. Yeah, That's like your adrenaline. So now, obviously, there's not going to be a bear in your hospital room, right? But your brain doesn't know the difference between real danger and perceived stress. So if you are choosing to give birth in the hospital and there's a harsh voice or bright lights, unfamiliar people, or if you are even feeling emotionally unsafe, all of that can trigger adrenaline the same in your body as seeing a bear. And that's going to shut down the peaceful flow of oxytocin, and it's going to block your calming, pain relieving endorphins, which we can talk more about endorphins because that is amazing how God made those for our bodies and our labor as well. But what I'm trying to say is God didn't just design adrenaline. Oh, I love that. You always ask, what is your predator? Could it be the hospital, a provider you don't like, or your mother-in-law? That's really good. Yeah. Yeah, what is your predator? Yeah, what is the bear? So I actually taught a physiologic birth class for labor nurses a few weeks ago, and I just wanted them all to know that we as labor nurses in the hospital, we could be someone's bear. Right? Like, and that seriously breaks my heart because that is not like our goal or our intention. But people could be afraid of going to the hospital, or, if they don't jive with their provider, or if mother-in-law show up unexpected or uninvited, then that can definitely slow down your labor progress. So that is really important for you and your partner to, talk about who you want there ahead of time, of course, and making sure that you feel comfortable with your provider. But yeah, that's a really, really good one. So God didn't just design adrenaline. He also gave us the tools to be able to bring peace back into our labor. So a few tools that you can take away today to lower your adrenaline: imagining inhaling peace, exhaling fear. Okay. All of that oxygen, bringing all of that oxygen to your brain, to your baby, that's going to help decrease your adrenaline. And then dimming the lights and keeping the room quiet, I think that is lovely. That is also going to help create a more peaceful environment. Surrounding yourself with people who speak gently and lovingly, that is so important as well. I would not want someone to come in and, say anything harsh to me. That would kind of really disrupt my flow if I was in labor. So, this is a side note, we had a patient when I was working this weekend at the hospital who said, hey, I don't want to sound rude, but last time when I was giving birth, everyone was cheering me on when I was pushing. And she was like, that was really annoying. So even when we have good intentions, right, someone may not prefer that. And so just being clear and like, hey, that's kind of annoying. We're not offended. So just say, please don't do that, and then we won't do it, right? And so being in a environment that feels safe and calm and that you can speak up and say those things, that's really, really important for supporting your hormones in labor. And then inviting Jesus into your fear. And so just speaking it out loud to the Lord is so important in being clear. So Psalm 56:3 says, when I am afraid, I put my trust in you. That's like such an easy verse to memorize, and especially in labor, you can add that in with your breath. So you can breathe in, when I'm afraid, exhale, I put my trust in you. And when you're exhaling, I want you to envision just letting it go, giving it up to the Lord, letting it all go. And labor doesn't need to be fearless, okay? Like, we are going to have some fear about certain things. I'm not saying like this is a magic, that all of your fear is going to go away, but how do we manage it? And what do we need to do to feel safe so that our hormones are more beneficial for us in labor? So I would like to say, think of the kind of environment that you want to use the bathroom in, right? So quiet, dim, private, maybe not 20 people staring at you while you're half naked. Like, that doesn't sound like a fun time to me. Undisturbed. So that is kind of the same environment that your body usually feels more comfortable in when it's time to birth your baby. So I think it's really beautiful that God made your body to respond to peace, and that He is with you in labor. And the calmer you feel, the more your body can do what it was made to do, which is so cool. So I want to talk more about hormones. So I think I'll be back on tomorrow so we can talk more about hormones and all of the things related to that, because it's so important. It's such a great foundation on if you fully understand how to use them to your advantage, like how God made your body, understanding that and then being able to work with it is going to make your labor so much smoother and so much more enjoyable. And that's what we all want. So if you guys didn't see, I announced that my class, Faith Greater Than Fear Birth, is going to launch on July 1st. And so if you're not on the waitlist already or you want to know more about it, just DM me so we can chat, because I'm super excited. I have worked so hard for this, and it is the resource that you need. If you love Jesus and you're pregnant, or first baby, fifth baby, if you want to know more about what God believes about birth and how you can bring Jesus into your labor and your birth experience, then this is the course for you. And I'm just so excited to have you here. So yeah, DM me if you have any questions. I'm excited and honored to play a part in your birth story.